In this video, we're going to look at the strangest and creepiest moments caught on camera. Most of these footage has not yet been debunked, so stick around and decide for yourself whether these videos are real or not. Flight MH370 video satellite leak. In 2023, a series of leaked videos claimed to show the final moments of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, the plane that mysteriously vanished in 2014 with 239 people on board. One clip appears to be satellite footage showing 3 glowing orbs circling the aircraft before it disappears in a sudden flash. Another shows what seems to be thermal imaging of the same event from a military drone. The authenticity of these videos has been fiercely debated. Critics call them elaborate fakes, while others point to tiny details that would be nearly impossible to fabricate. To this day, no official explanation has been given, and the fate of MH370 remains one of the most haunting aviation mysteries in modern history. The Max Headroom broadcast hijacking. On November 22, 1987, Chicago television viewers were shocked when 2 live broadcasts were interrupted by a mysterious figure wearing a Max Headroom mask. The intruder spoke in cryptic phrases, mocked TV networks, and even exposed himself on camera before disappearing without a trace. Authorities were baffled. The hijacker had bypassed broadcast security, but how he pulled it off or why remains unknown. Despite an FCC investigation and a $100,000 reward, no suspect was ever identified. The Max Headroom incident remains one of the strangest unsolved cybercrimes in U.S. history, equal parts eerie, absurd, and unsettling. Ariel School UFO incident. These drawings have a disturbing backstory. 30 children drew the exact same thing they saw that day in their school's yard. These are their stories. In September 16, 1994, in a small school in rural Zimbabwe, children ages 6 to 12 years old were having recess in their schoolyard. On this particular Friday morning, the teachers held a staff meeting indoors, which left the children unsupervised outside. The children burst into the staff meeting, talking over each other while telling the teachers what they saw.
Was it in the early morning?
It was at break time.
Yeah?
And then we saw something shiny. And we saw two people. They were in tight black suit. And they had big eyes. And we didn't actually see their nose, but it was quite small. And their mouth was quite small as well. One of them was running in slow motion up across the ship. And the other one was standing beside the ship.
According to dozens of children, a craft landed or hovered on a patch of rough ground. And then something emerged. Small figures, about the size of a man but with thin bodies, elongated heads, and huge black unblinking eyes. They wore tight, shiny suits. Their movements were strange, almost as if they were floating rather than walking. The teachers, while skeptical, walked to the field but found nothing unusual, aside from the trampled grass where the children said the craft had landed. Later that day, many students drew what they had seen. The images were strikingly similar. The shape of the craft, the beings, the dark eyes. These drawings would become some of the most compelling visual evidence of the case. This case is known to many as the Ariel School UFO incident. Miami Bayside Mall alien incident. Thousands saw this clip and believed that 12-foot-tall aliens are roaming the area. But what really happened in that Miami mall that night? On January 1st, 2024, just after midnight, chaos erupted outside the Bayside Marketplace in Miami, Florida. Official reports say it was just a fight between a group of 50 to 60 teenagers causing chaos, which involves fireworks. The internet wasn't convinced. Multiple people who were at or near the Bayside Marketplace that night claimed they saw something not human.
Everybody was nosy. And as soon as it started popping, this thing started glowing and it started going like a force field. Woo, 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 woo. Started glowing and it looked like somebody put a foot out like that. And then somebody put a hand out like that. And then all you see was this. All you see was like this, an image like that. That's all I seen. This was all glowing, so it was bright.
Eyewitnesses described tall, shadowy figures, standing anywhere from 8 to 10 feet tall, with glowing eyes and unusual movement, as if they were gliding or sprinting unnaturally fast. Some said the beings were black, featureless shapes, almost like cloaked figures, while others swore they saw them standing on rooftops or moving between cars in the parking lot. Several videos captured during the chaos seemed to show distorted silhouettes or figures flashing past the camera, which only fueled the belief that something otherworldly had appeared that night. While none of these claims were officially verified, the consistency in descriptions across dozens of unconnected social media posts is what made the conspiracy take off. TikTok, X, and Reddit are flooded with slowed-down footage, color-adjusted frames, and users claiming to have enhanced the clips to reveal something inhuman. In some, you can almost make out a tall silhouette. In others, it's just shadows and chaos. But that didn't stop thousands from stitching their own theories, calling it everything from a government experiment to an interdimensional breach. Interestingly, none of the eyewitnesses knew each other, yet their descriptions were strangely similar. That's what made the internet latch on. It didn't feel like a prank. It felt like something had happened, something strange enough that the official explanation didn't quite cover it. Skeptics argue it's a classic case of mass hysteria amplified by social media. One person misinterprets a shadow, says alien, and within minutes, a dozen others think they saw it too. Mix in shaky camera footage, the adrenaline of a New Year crowd, and the dramatic police response, and suddenly the narrative writes itself. The girl in red footage. This footage is truly hair-raising. In 1998, a family hiking through Dakang Scenic Area filmed their trip with a V8 camcorder. But when they reviewed the footage, they noticed something chilling. A little girl in red trailing behind them. Strangely, no one had seen her during the hike, and none of them even knew who she was. Dressed in a child's red outfit, her face was unnaturally aged, sunken, an image that was deeply unsettling. The footage was shown on the show Ghosts and Spirits in Taiwan, triggering national attention, and created the urban legend of the little girl in red. After the broadcast, Dakang Scenic Area gained a reputation for being haunted. Several hikers reported seeing a child in red on trails, often fleetingly. Some claimed that after such encounters, they suffered accidents, illnesses, or disorientation. These reports appeared in Taiwanese forums and local papers. Taiwanese ghost lore already had stories of spirits that follow people. If you walk in the mountains, a lonely spirit can tag along, draining your energy or causing misfortune. The red dress amplified this, since in folklore, spirits that die in red clothing become restless and vengeful ghosts. Shortly after the episode aired, one of the men in the video, an older relative in the hiking group, died not long after filming. There are also stories where an editor of the show saw the girl crawl out of the monitor. This created the belief that simply watching her could bring bad luck, and the little girl in red urban legend merged with older ghost tales where she follows hikers home. She marks them for bad luck or death, and sometimes only cameras can see her, not human eyes. Whether she's real or not, the image sticks with you. Maybe it's just a camera glitch, or maybe it's something we're not meant to understand. Either way, she's become part of the legend. Mysterious spherical UFO sightings. They seem to appear all over the world, floating silently, perfectly round. In the last few years, a new type of UFO has dominated reports.
UFO video recorded on military cameras.
No blinking lights, no visible propulsion, just silent, metallic spheres, hovering, darting, and vanishing in the blink of an eye.
I showed at the hearing recently. This is a spherical orb, metallic, in the Middle East, 2022, by an MQ-9.
But what really are they? And what do they want from us? These are the things we'll go through in this video, but we will see it through eyewitness perspectives, documented sightings, and scientific explanations. Did you know the origin of the word Foo Fighters? Yes, it's a popular band, but its origin is related to UFO sightings in the World War II. During the final years of World War II, Allied pilots began reporting something strange in the skies over Europe. What they saw were spheres, glowing, floating, following silently through the dark. The phrase was coined by U.S. airmen, specifically the 415th Night Fighter Squadron, who were among the first to regularly report these mysterious glowing spheres in 1944. But these World War II sightings are not the earliest sightings recorded. In 1926, high in the Himalayas, an expedition led by Russian explorer Nicholas Roerich made a chilling observation. Roerich wrote in his journal, "We all saw a huge, oval-shaped object shining and moving rapidly across the sky. We watched it through binoculars. It disappeared behind the mountains." This was 1926, decades before the term UFO even existed. There are many footages of UAPs across the globe, but in the case of spherical UAPs, the earliest known military footage is in 2016. During a routine surveillance flight over the war-torn city of Mosul, a U.S. military drone captured something extraordinary. No one outside the intelligence world knew it existed. It was the first officially confirmed military-captured video of a spherical UAP released to the public in January of 2023. What's amazing is that there are other angles aside from the military footage that caught the sphere. The Pentagon has not denied the footage's authenticity, but has not publicly commented on the object's nature or origin, and it introduced the orb-shaped phenomenon into public focus. But these footage are from military. Civilian footage of these spheres go as far back as the 90s. In this footage, we can see an UAP orb moving erratically. This was taken in the 90s in Russia, thus the grainy footage. But in this video, taken in 2016 in Japan, you can see some similarities in movement from the one video taken from the 90s in Russia, which are decades apart. But what do you think? Are they the same UAP? Comment your theory below. This footage from Colombia shows a similar spherical UAP that moves the same way as the one in Russia, Japan, and Iraq, but we can see it closer. In this footage, you can clearly see its metallic form. What clearly stands out is its movement. Its vertical movement clearly shows that it is not controlled by the wind, but there is no sign of any propulsion or emission coming from the orb. So what makes it move? We may know soon enough the answer to that question if this item known as the Buga sphere is connected to all those UAPs we see around the world. In early March 2025, residents of Buga, Colombia, reported something strange streaking through the sky. A shiny silver object, roughly the size of a large grapefruit, moving erratically before allegedly crashing near a rural area. Local farmers were the first to reach the crash site. What they found was beyond explanation. A smooth, metallic sphere, perfectly symmetrical, roughly 4.5 pounds in weight, entirely cold to the touch, even hours after being retrieved under the hot Colombian sun. The sphere is currently being analyzed further by scientists, but there are many skeptics that think that this is just an elaborate hoax. In July of 2019, off the coast of San Diego, something extraordinary was caught on military surveillance. A small metallic sphere was tracked by the USS Omaha. It hovered above the ocean for several minutes. It descended into the water without a splash, vanishing from radar, from sensors, from sight. No wreckage, no propulsion, no explanation. This was no drone. It was what researchers now call a transmedium object, capable of moving effortlessly between air and sea with no visible means of lift or thrust. It defied both gravity and the limits of our understanding. A nearby submarine close to USS Omaha also searched the location but have found nothing. This footage adds to the mystery of these spheres. What exactly are they doing in these seemingly random locations around the world? These are 5 theories, or what can be close to a realistic explanation as to what these spheres really are, aside from being a UAP or transmedium object. The most grounded theory? These spheres are next-gen surveillance drones. Spherical shapes reduce drag and radar signatures, ideal for stealth. And research groups across the globe are experimenting with transmedium designs craft that could move through air and water. This theory would also make sense on the locations they have been seen throughout the years, like military ships, conflicted countries, and possibly other sites that we don't even know about. Some skeptics argue these aren't objects at all but artifacts. A bird caught at the wrong angle on infrared. A balloon misread by radar. A reflection on a camera lens. This theory is the easy way out of the conversation, but can easily be torn apart as an argument. Rare phenomena like ball lightning and earthquake lights can appear as glowing floating orbs. Some plasma physicists suggest unknown atmospheric reactions could mimic what we now call UAPs. But most of these events are short-lived, unstable, and highly localized. They don't hover for hours or change direction mid-air or descend into the ocean without so much as a ripple. Balloons, especially metallic or reflective ones, can look uncanny in the sky, especially when caught by high-zoom lenses. Some UAPs have later been identified as weather probes, solar-powered balloons, or even trash. But what about the ones that move against the wind or vanish into the sea? Some sightings of spherical UAPs could be optical artifacts created by directed energy experiments, such as lasers, high-powered tracking beams, or satellite-based illumination systems that appear as floating orbs from certain angles. If this is possible, this would explain how the spheres move in straight lines or blink in and out, depending on how the beam interacts with dust, humidity, or reflective surfaces.
Mystery of the Giant in the Mountain, Andrew Dawson's story.
April 9th, 2022, two guys traveling on a road in Alberta, Canada, saw something strange up in the mountains. The man in the passenger seat, named Andrew, took a video of it and posted it on TikTok. A tall, towering figure was seen on the top of the mountains.
What is it? It's a person, dude. No, seriously.
The video became viral on TikTok, so he capitalized on it by going back the next day, but the towering figure was gone.
I spoke to some locals and it comes and goes apparently, I don't know.
What happened to him after his viral post was a series of conspiracies of him being followed, people telling him not to snoop around the site, and finally an admission that is possibly against his will. Some people think it was just his paranoia, but what happened to him a few weeks later was proof that it was not. Andrew Dawson wasn't a conspiracy theorist. He was a regular guy, posting fun clips, road trips, and daily life. But after that viral clip, he always posted updates on what is happening on the mountain where he saw the giant. He saw helicopters going in and out of the mountain as if they are hauling something. In one of his follow-up TikToks, Andrew documents an attempt to go back to Whistler's Peak in Alberta to get closer to the location of the original sighting. Andrew claims he was stopped and told to leave. Andrew backs off, drives away. He doesn't try again, but his tone changes after that. What was once curiosity now feels like fear. A few days after he was blocked from the mountain, things got worse. Andrew begins recording small moments, clips that seem uneventful, until you notice what's in the background. In one video, he films a black SUV parked on a gravel turnout, with a man looking like an agent observing him from afar. This leaves Andrew unsettled and paranoid. Later, Andrew posts again, this time claiming he was approached by someone he describes as probably from the CIA. There's no footage of the conversation, just his reaction afterward. He looks rattled, his words are shaky. He says, "He told me I shouldn't be talking about this." Some viewers think it's a hoax. Others start warning him in the comments. Don't go alone. You need to leave town. Be careful. And then, the infamous apology video wherein Andrew looks tired, lifeless, eyes shifting, barely making contact with the camera. He said that the videos were scripted, faked, and just for entertainment purposes only. But what stood out is that it is the only video wherein he used a tripod as he films himself. All of his videos were handheld and personal. This looks like he was being forced to do it. The reason why this mystery is so weird is that Andrew Ryan Dawson wasn't a paranormal investigator. What ties this all together is not the seemingly scripted apology video, but this one.
You might not see me post ever again.
My videos weren't fake.
Was it paranoia, a warning, or a cry for help? Whatever it is, the person who can answer all of this is now gone. But now, let's take a step back to the video where it all began. Some viewers quickly identified the figure as something much more ordinary, a radio tower or a mountaintop weather station. When zoomed in at a distance, structures like these can look humanoid, especially with heat haze, low resolution, and handheld camera movement. It's not uncommon. Mountains often host communication equipment, warning beacons, or military-grade antennas. The shape matched. The location matched. There are also threads in Reddit that post the top of the mountain in the video, and it looks like this. With the right circumstances, this antenna is possibly what Andrew got a video of. As for the helicopter video in the mountains, there are three explanations on what could they be. One is that they are military exercises. The area where Dawson filmed near Whistler's Peak in Jasper National Park, Alberta, Canada, is not far from regions occasionally used by Canadian military or government agencies for training or transport. Helicopters in these situations might be moving equipment, personnel, or conducting drills. Two is that Canadian parks often have search and rescue (SAR) missions involving helicopters. If a hiker was missing or injured near the peak, Dawson may have coincidentally filmed the recovery or search efforts. Three is that the government are doing geological or environmental surveys for wildlife, avalanche conditions, and environmental health. But what about the CIA agents that he said was stopping him from going to the mountains? This part is kind of sketchy, and where most people are divided. For one, the car that the CIA agents use is not standard issue for government agencies. Two, he might have misidentified park rangers or law enforcement. If Dawson was trying to access restricted parts of a national park, he may have been stopped by park rangers, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, forestry officials. In the moment or for dramatic effect, he may have exaggerated it as CIA, maybe for additional tension for his TikTok videos. Some viewers speculated that Dawson may have been experiencing paranoia or psychological stress from the sudden internet fame. Feeling watched, followed, or unsafe can be a genuine experience, even if there is no real threat. But there is also a possibility that this is just an elaborate hoax for internet fame. Andrew Dawson's videos might have been nothing more than a social experiment, a viral ARG, or just a man playing with what-if scenarios. But what makes his story linger is the theories that are formed through Reddit threads and videos online. Majority of them are saying that this is a hoax and that Andrew Dawson is still alive. Some of them said maybe he ended his own life, which adds up if the paranoia got to him. If we play devil's advocate and assume he did see something unusual like a secret military tech or undisclosed activity, it's possible, though unconfirmed, that some form of intelligence or security personnel told him to stop filming. Even in that case, it likely wouldn't be CIA but rather Canadian authorities, possibly tied to military or research operations. This still makes this case unanswered. Whatever it is, the most unexplained thing about this incident is his death. Is it all just a coincidence or something bigger? Even if this story is a hoax, it's a good one and it tickles the mind to many possibilities that we may never know. People vanish every day, stories get silenced, and sometimes a guy on TikTok films something he shouldn't have. Maybe Andrew wasn't supposed to see what he saw, or maybe we weren't supposed to believe him.
So, which of these stories do you think is real? Comment down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.